Yeah, give me the Bible, man of God. Stay with me. You belong right here with me. In a remote and dense forest in Africa, where no one usually came or went, lived a beautiful young woman under a tree. One evening, while she was sitting on the grass beneath the tree, she saw an old man of God praying alone in the wilderness. The woman had been alone for months. Her patience had one thing. As soon as she saw the holy man, she lifted her dress lightly and started crying loud.
Help! Help!
She screamed.
Help!
The old prophet ran to her. His white beard moved as he breathed hard. What happened? What is wrong, child? The woman looked at him with desperate eyes. My leg hurts so badly. I think it is broken. The prophet knelt beside her. I know some healing. Let me see. When his gentle hands touched her foot, the woman felt peace flow through her. She watched his kind face. She wanted more of this feeling, more of this touch. The old man pressed her leg softly. He moved his fingers along her ankle. There is nothing wrong here. Your leg is fine. The woman dropped her act. Yes, I know. I lied to bring you to me. The prophet's eyes widened. But why will you do this? I am young. I have been alone too long. I cannot bear it anymore. Stay with me tonight, please. The holy man stood up quickly. Anger flashed in his eyes. He turned to leave, but the woman ran after him and grabbed his arm. No, you cannot live like this. I have waited so long. You must stay. The prophet was confused. Why would a young woman want an old man like him? When he looked at his face again, something stirred in his heart. He felt drawn to her. His old eyes were weak from years of fasting and prayer. He could not see her clearly. Why do you stare at me like that? She asked. I cannot see your face well, but when I'm near you, I feel something I cannot explain. The woman's face brightened. Her plan was working. Night was falling in the dense forest. Darkness wrapped around them. So, you will stay with me now? She asked softly. The prophet paused. He looked at the dark trees around them. Where can I go in this forest at night? I will stay until morning. The woman smiled inside. Her trap had caught him. They sat together on the grass under the large tree. I sleep here every night, she said. Will you lie down too? Wherever you give me space, I will rest there. Then we both sleep here on the grass. They lay down beneath the tree. The prophet fell asleep quickly, but the woman stayed awake. She watched him with loving eyes. She thought to herself, he will not agree easily. I must warm his heart slowly. I will not let him leave in the morning. I must keep him for myself. Morning came to the forest. The prophet began to rise and gather his things. The woman stood up quickly. Where are you going? Stay with me. Look at my face. Do you not see anything special in it? The prophet looked at her. Something knocked at her soul, but his weak eyes could not see her clearly. I must go now. I have work to do. When the woman saw he would not change his mind, she said, wait here, just 1 minute. Do not move from here. She ran into the forest. She found a mango tree and picked 2 ripe fruits. Then she screamed loudly and lay down with her eyes closed. When the prophet heard her cry, he ran to her. He found her lying under the mango tree. He shook her gently. Child, what happened? She did not respond. He rubbed her arms. Inside, she smiled, but kept her eyes shut. The prophet ran to a nearby stream. He cupped water in his hands and sprinkled it on her face. When she felt she could not pretend anymore, she opened her eyes slowly. The prophet stared at her. He wanted to speak, but could not find the words. Before he could ask what happened, the woman hugged him tightly. He tried to push her away, but felt too weak. Something about her felt familiar. What is this? How did you faint? He asked. I went to pick mangoes for you. I fell and hit my head on the tree. Please, let me go now. The woman looked into his weight-hearted face. You cannot see me clearly, but can you not feel something when I'm near you? The prophet's voice was quiet. I do not know why, but when you are close, I feel I feel like I know you somehow. She smiled and led him back to the tree. They sat in its shade and ate the sweet mangoes together. And before you know it, it was evening again. They sat quietly under the tree again. Stretch your legs, the woman said suddenly. Why? Just do it for me. The prophet stretched his leg. The woman began to rub them gently. What are you doing? He asked. You have walked far. You must be very tired. Let me help you. She went to the stream and filled a clay cup with water. She brought it to him. As soon as he drank the water, sleep came over him. He fell asleep under the tree. Night covered the forest again. The woman sat beside the sleeping prophet. She watched his peaceful face. Then she kissed his forehead very softly and rubbed his gray head. When the prophet's eyes fluttered open, the woman quickly lay down and pretended to sleep. Morning came. The prophet was still sleeping. The woman got up quietly. She went to the stream and began shouting, Who is there? Help me! Someone help me! The prophet woke up. He did not see her beside him. When he heard her voice from the water, he ran towards the stream. He found her standing in the shallow water, soaking wet. What are you doing there? He called. I came for water. I sleep on the rock. Help me out. The prophet reached out his hand and pulled her from the stream. Your clothes are all wet. I am leaving now. Please be more careful. No more tricks. The woman stepped closer. Do you still think I am a stranger? If your eyes were strong and you could see me clearly, would you still leave me? Again, that feeling stirred in his heart. He walked back and sat under the tree. She came and knelt before him. Why did you not come with me to the hut yesterday? I tried so hard to show you. I cannot live without you. Come with me today, please. The prophet said nothing. When night fell, he lay down under the tree and slept. She lay beside him, but kept her eyes open, thinking, it is getting harder to keep him here. His heart is softer now. Tomorrow, I must tell him the truth. I will take him to the hut. Maybe he will understand it there. The next morning, as the prophet prepared to leave, the woman came to him with tears in her eyes. Just once. Come with me to that hut in the forest. After that, go wherever you wish to. I will not stop you. The prophet's brow wrinkled. Why are you so stubborn about this hut? What hut do you mean? I cannot tell you here. I am scared. You might reject me after hearing the truth. But I must show you something you have to see with your eyes. Without waiting for his answer, she started walking into the dense forest. The prophet followed her, his heart beating faster with each step. They walked for many minutes, through thick trees and thorny bushes. Finally, they reached a small clearing. There stood a little hut made of cloth and stick. The prophet stopped walking. His face went white. The woman held his hand and led him inside. The prophet was shocked at what he saw. Inside the simple hut, she suddenly wrapped her arms around him and began to cry harder. The prophet pushed her away. Anger filled his eyes. He stormed outside. She ran after him and fell at his feet. I know you recognize this place, and I know the girl you once built this hut for. The prophet froze like a statue. He looked down at her and asked with a shaking voice, Who told you I was ever in this place? His own words had betrayed him. She spoke softly. I do not want to hurt you. I just want to be close to you again. The prophet began to walk away. For 3 years, 3 good years, the old man had wandered this forest. People from his village had searched for him for many times. They found his footprints near river. They saw where he had slept under trees, but he always moved deeper into the wilderness. The village elders said he was running from something. Some said he was running from God's calling. Others whispered he was running from grief. The truth was deeper than they all knew. Years ago, the prophet had lived in peace with his family. He had a wife who cooked for him every morning. He had a beautiful daughter who brought him water when he prayed. Life was very simple and good. But his daughter grew restless. She watched the young men in their village. None of them was interested in her. Then one day, a strange boy came from another village. He had smooth words and bright clothes. He promised her adventures beyond their small world. The prophet warned his daughter, This boy is not good for you. His words are sweet, but his heart is not right. Stay with us. But young hearts do not listen to wisdom easily. One dark night, the girl packed her few belongings. She left a note for her parents. She ran away with that strange boy. When the prophet woke and found her gone, his world collapsed. His wife cried for days. She would not eat. She would not sleep. The grief ate her heart like termites in wood. The prophet prayed day and night. He begged God to bring his daughter home. But weeks passed, then months. No words came from the girl. One morning, the prophet's wife did not wake up. Her heart had stopped in the night. The village doctor said grief had killed her. A person can die from a broken heart. After the burial, the prophet could not stay in their house. Every corner reminded him of his lost family. The cooking pot reminded him of his wife. The water jar reminded him of his daughter. He packed his prayer mat and his Bible. He walked into the forest. He told no one where he was going. For 3 good years, he had lived alone with God. He ate wild fruits and roots. He drank from streams. He prayed for his daughter every morning and every night. He never stopped believing she would return. Now, as the prophet was walking away from the hut, he turned around and screamed at the woman, "That is enough." He said firmly, "I am leaving now. Take care of yourself." Maybe the girl was reminding her something he doesn't want to remember. She came close one last time. "Do you still see me as a stranger? If you could see me clearly, if your eyes were not weak from fasting, you would never leave me." The prophet sat down under the tree again. Something in her voice made him stay. "Let us go back to the hut one more time," she said. "I cannot stay away from you. There is something I must show you. You must see it." This time, he followed her quietly, as if his feet knew the way. She pulled aside the closed door. They entered together. The prophet's voice was barely a whisper. "Why did you bring me here? I know you can't see clearly, or your memories are failing you, but I must tell you this. Many years ago, a little girl came here with her father. She loved the forest. Both of them built this hut together, and when she was small, they would always come here to pray and talk to God about everything." Tears filled the woman's eyes. "There is something more. Your daughter wrote both your names inside this hut. That is why it was never destroyed by wind or rain." The prophet was shocked. His legs felt weak. He stepped closer and closer. "What did you say? How did you know about this?" Now, tears were in his eyes too. The pieces were coming together in his mind like a puzzle. She continued with a breaking voice. "The girl you love so much left home with a boy from another village. You want her not to go, but she did not listen." The prophet's hands began to shake. "The boy kept her for only 4 days. Then he threw her away like garbage. She cried and came home. But when she arrived, no one was there." The prophet was breathing hard now. Everything was becoming clear. The neighbors told her that her mother had died of heartbreak. They said you had left the village and never returned. They said you came to the forest sometimes to pray and look for healing plants. The prophet understood. His voice was shaking. "And then she heard you might come to this forest. So she built a shelter here. She waited for you every day for months. She never stopped hoping you would forgive her." Now, the prophet knew this, but he still asked in a whisper, "And then what happened?" One evening, as she sat under that tree, she saw her father walking by. To call her father, she pretended to be hot and shouted, "Help! Help!" The prophet cried out, "Stop, or you will kill me with these words." Then finally, the old prophet opened his arms wide. The woman ran into them. A father and daughter, separated for so long by pride and pain, were finally together again. They held each other and cried tears of joy and sorrow mixed together. He asked through his tears, "But why did you not tell me from the beginning that you are my daughter? Why all these games and lies?" She answered, After the way I left home, after what happened to Mama, how could I face you? I was so ashamed. I needed time to come close to you slowly. I needed to heal the terrible wound I gave you. I was afraid you would reject me if you knew who I was. The father hugged his daughter tighter than he had ever hugged anyone. My child, my precious child, I never stopped praying for you. Not for one day, not for one night. I have been waiting for you to come home. They stayed in the forest for 3 more days. The father told his daughter about the years of searching and praying. The daughter told her father about her suffering and mistake. They forgave each other completely. On the 4th day, they packed the few things from the hut. Together, they walked out of the forest towards their village. The people could hardly believe their eyes when they saw the holy man returning with a young woman. But when the old prophet told them the truth, the whole village celebrated. Father and daughter rebuilt their home. They lived together in peace and happiness. The daughter married a good man from their village, not a stranger with sweet words, but a man who feared God and loved her truly. The father continued his work as a prophet, but now his heart was full instead of broken. And every evening, they would sit together and thank God for bringing them back to each other. This story teaches us that love never gives up. A parent's love may seem strict, but it is never hateful. Even when we make terrible mistakes, the door to home is never locked forever. Sometimes we must wait for the right time to speak our truth. Sometimes we must be patient with broken hearts, both our own and others. But most of all, we learn that God hears every prayer of a parent's heart. He sees every tear, and in His perfect time, He can restore what seemed lost forever. The forest that was a place of loneliness became a place of reunion. The tears that were tears of sorrow become tears of joy. This is how God works in our life, turning our wilderness into a place of blessing, our sorrow into celebration, our separation into sweet reunion. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to share this story with your family and your friends whom I love to see them. Till I see you again in my next story. Goodbye.
Help!